Yo, what's going on, people? Daniel here from the AK Mindset. To here with Raguel, bringing you another episode of the AK Rewatch, episode 9
Yeah,
of Love is War. Raguel, introduce yourself, please.
of course, like Daniel said, it's for Jill, and that Love is War greatness. We're back again. It's been a minute since we've recorded an episode, and that I can truly say I've missed it, bro. I've missed Love is War. When I watched it, I was like, rah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, what's it? Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Mhm. For real. As a real fact. And my heart is very fond at the moment of this anime.
Yes, I mean, we got an episode coming out for the pod for animes of the year, so I won't spoil it, but I would be lying if I said Kaguya wasn't mentioned, so keep your eyes out for that. But all right, without further ado, let's get into it. So episode 9, we started off with Yu Ishigami closes his eyes, part 2, and we have in this part, Miko Ino and her friend Kobachi discussing the antics of the student council, and we see Miko's rather creative imagination. That's how I put it. So yeah.
Hey, that's a good way to put it, I can't lie, because it's very creative. She loves jumping. You know, I love Miko. Like, I say this all the time, so let me start off positively. I love Miko, but she can really jump on the first train that she sees. She jumps ship every time. She goes so quick and commits to one concept or one idea or something. Because how she was picturing Miyuki this whole time has been definitely outlandish. But I can understand why at the moment in time, based on what she's been viewing, she wants to leave. Like, I would want to leave. There's a lot of nonsense going on.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, like that whole montage with like the black panties and the all them things, like Chica getting her mouth taped. I mean, I don't blame her, but she had some. It's like a whole, a typical shonen protagonist's like arc where he goes through the struggle and he comes back and he manages to, I guess, overcome his difficulty. She had that whole scenario typed up in her mind for what she thought the student council would be. I find it strange that it came from her, since she's such a logical person, if you could call it that. It was very. I have to rate the imagination though, because that's quite creative. But she should be a writer. I don't know if the student council thing is for her.
She needs to switch up a bit, because like that was drama filled. Like everything that was happening in that scenario, how Miki was mistreating her and talking down to her and having some next ideal. It was crazy, legit shouting at her, talking about how the student council is for the elite of the elite. That's who we serve. And she's like, nah, it shouldn't be like that. And then you have Kaguya coming out of nowhere, agreeing with everything he says. Like, yeah, he's right. He's the president. And she's like, what? And what's even worse was how she made Chica look like some next angelic queen.
Fam, listen, she had Chica looking like, oh yeah, I don't want to do this, but I have to carry the burdens of my friend. Like, relax, it's not that deep. And it kind of just shows that Miko is new to the group. She hasn't known them for that long, because like, imagining that the president is saying that the school is for the elite of the elite, when we all know that the president wasn't even one of the people who kind of qualifies for the school in the first place. Like, he came from the outside. So that just shows like she doesn't really know the student council members that well. So, and also she did Ishigami dirty by not putting him in the flashback too. I just have to say that.
What she needs to fix this relationship with Ishigami. I don't know what happened, but the conflict and the hate for him is real. Imagine, she said, I don't want to waste my time imagining you. She doesn't even waste her time in her imagination. I was like,
nah, you don't deserve that, man.
That's actually rude. There's actually no need for that. You're going too far at that point.
I liked her friend though, Kobachi. She's like, I don't know how many times she's probably had to deal with this over I guess, hyperbolic fantasies that Miko will come up with, because she was so calm and she was like, yeah, we've done this whole song and dance before. So I found that quite entertaining about that part. And I think it was quite good just to have Miko and Kobachi, just them two really, because it's kind of like moving away from the typical student council, Shirogane, Kaguya, and all them guys.
Yeah.
So it's nice to move away from them, take a little break.
No, it's true. Kobachi really balances her out. Like they're great
for
pairing. Definitely. Because you can tell that she's so used to that type of behavior that straight away when she's talking, she establishes, oh, I know she's probably being extra. For what I've seen from the president, it's unlikely that he's going to be acting this way. Like, it's unlikely that man's a pervert or pushy and that. And and then kind of talks her down, relaxes her. But even when she's like talked down and relaxed and shown the logic, she switches up and just
She
makes
made it
it
worse,
look like, bro, I was like, what's happening? I was like, in both, but even it was worse, in both, Miyuki was done dirty because man was made to look firstly as some authority, like head honcho ruler who's like rude, and then he's made to look like some next submissive guy who just loves being hit and abused.
No, that was wild. With what Kaguya was putting her feet on his face or something like that, and whipping him. Yeah, nah, that was. I don't know. I think that says more about Miko's mindset and where she takes things than the other guys. Because I don't know why she took it there immediately. Like, I mean, you could have Kaguya make him say those things without it being in that kind of submission and domination kind of flex. So, yeah. I mean, I guess credit to her.
We know she's been weird since she has that fetish about bald people. So
That's
we
true.
know she's a bit, I love her, but sometimes she's a bit iffy. Like, I have to question some of her thought processes.
Nah, I will say she's entertaining. Miko is definitely entertaining. This is why she's on the council, because she comes up with these silly fantasies. I loved when she had the rugby ball and she just taking it and running it. That little scene. I don't know why. It just made me laugh because, like, out of all the sports they could have chose, they picked rugby. It was such a strange choice for sport to me. So,
no, I hear that. I actually hear that.
What did you think about the last scene with Kaguya when Miko tries to put the heat on her and it flops?
Oh yeah, I can't. Okay, that scene, boy, Miko came in with energy. Misguided energy, but energy nonetheless. And of course we have to understand that Kaguya is a no nonsense kind of girl. She's not hot-headed at sometimes, but she's strong, like, and bold. So if you're gonna come and tell her something that she knows is obviously not right or legit, she's gonna come back with a fire. She's not one to just let things slide. So that for me wasn't even unpredictable. Like, you could guess that was gonna happen. The thing that shocked me was how quickly Miko backed down though. Like, I thought she would have a little bit more backbone. If it's against Ishigami, you think Miko is just relaxed and like that after being hotted up?
Never that
at all.
Yeah,
so she needs to keep the same energy for people.
Yeah, that's a bit strange from her. I guess she was just shocked by the reaction. I don't think she thought Kaguya had them kind of emotions in her bag, because she kind of thinks of Kaguya as that big bad, sneaky, and all them things. So seeing Kaguya be like, oh, I don't even know what I think of the president myself. Like, that would have me. I was looking at her I was like, wow, okay. So what happened to the whole, oh yeah, I want him to confess first thing. I'm not gonna even show my feelings. Like, it just shows, like, now we're like deep into season 2. Like, these guys are really not even trying to pretend about hiding their feelings now. They're just trying to be, they're just out there with it, if you get what I mean. It's just like, yeah, I like you, but I haven't really said it. I haven't really said those words, but like any person outside can see that it's evident.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like they need to just pattern up and date each other.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Well, I guess we got a while to get there. I don't know why, but one thing, the title of this episode confuses me because like Ishigami wasn't in this section like at all. So I don't know why it was called You Ishigami Closes His Eyes Part 2. Because part 1 of this is when Kaguya is helping Ishigami study, and that makes sense. But like I don't really get why it was called You Ishigami Closes His Eyes. Is that because of his relationship with Miko? I don't know.
I think it might be. I feel like they are very linked and are, as we see later on, are kind of similar in some aspects.
That's true.
So I think like the writers and everybody trying to hint, like, guys, watch this interaction, watch this relationship as it like develops, like, and we get to understand it more.
I hear that. Well, moving on to the second section, Kaguya wants to touch. Probably the funniest part of the episode for me, because that video game sequence was comedy.
My fire.
Yeah, it was fire, wasn't it? It was fire, bro. How can it was so perfect? Like they had the special things, special like pointers. Oh yeah, he went 1 meter within Kaguya. Like that adds 10 to the meter. Oh, he's grabbing her shoulder. That adds 7 to the meter. All of that was
all
like,
the combos. That felt like
beautiful.
Tekken for real. I was having flashbacks. Oh my days. It was done so well.
That was a great part. But yeah, just to quickly summarize, in this section, Kaguya's been avoiding the president and he's feeling a bit insecure about that. So she kind of works up the resolve to have a proper conversation with him, but he kind of takes her out of her pace and ends up flipping man. So yeah, and running away too. So because she's a black belt in Aikido.
Oh, that flip, very different.
Yeah, you can't fight Kaguya. She'll body you.
Definitely, for real. There's no hope. It makes sense in the last scene why Miko had him as submissive. Like she'll force you to submit. You can't. There's no need to fight. There's no hope.
Yeah, she's a Shinomiya, isn't it? So you know them. They're built different, as we can see in this episode.
I loved the first bit when we get to see Queen Hayasaka, of course.
Yes.
Because every time I see her, I love how blank her face is. Like she rarely shows emotion unless something extreme is happening. Because her job is hard, man. Like I've said it before, but her job is actually hard. And when Kaguya comes home and is spewing this nonsense about just how shy she is or how uncomposed she is and how flustered she gets, like I would just leave the room. But Hayasaka is different. Hayasaka said, I got you. Let me teach you ways, some rituals, some meditation techniques. That right hand on the cheek.
Yes,
I don't know if that will work in real life though.
That's the tech. Don't worry. If you work hard enough at it, you'll do it. That's the tech.
That's the right hand. Just slap it on your cheek and you're casual and you're calm. Never be flustered again. Yes. And it did work, to be honest.
It did work. I like that little sequence it had with her trying to hardwire the association between feeling calm and the right cheek, with her like putting her right cheek, drinking tea and holding her dog, all them things. That was cool. And I like that little sequence with her trying to find the best, I guess, position or pose to which made her feel the most comfortable. That little, I guess it was like a dance, wasn't it?
That cracked me up. Because I was like, firstly, her moves are so dead. I was like, what? She was just dancing, but she was dancing with no facial expressions. She was just there. And Hayasaka's like, what are you actually doing? In any scenario where you're flustered, how are you going to be able to have enough time and not look out of place by standing there and doing that dance move to relax? Someone's going to question that. Like, I'm going to question, why are you dancing? And that's going to even make it worse for you.
No, I don't think she was dancing to feel calm. I think she was trying different positions, innit?
Oh, I see. So like rapidly just changing and see which relaxer.
But it wasn't the whole dance.
Hey, but it was the whole dance.
No, that would have been wild. But yeah, that whole scene was good. That was a good scene. I think, as you were saying about Hayasaka being blank, I think that's because she was in maid mode. Like, I don't think that's her true, I guess, personality. I don't think it's impossible to have your face as blank as that all the time. I think when she's like in the Shinomiya house and she's working, when it's 9 to 5, she's on the clock, then she'll be on that kind of energy. But maybe when she's off, she acts a bit different. But we haven't seen that yet. Yeah, we might have to wait to see more emotions from Hayasaka.
I hope we don't have to wait too long. I hope.
Me too.
It happens quite swiftly. We need more Hayasaka magic. Actually, I think my favorite part of this section was when, during the whole Tekken fight, dropping combos, she tried to implement the relaxing ritual, the technique, but she realized, wait, Miyuki's holding my hand. I can't do it. I was dying. I was like, yeah, she might have to think of something new.
Yeah, it was peak, because that was the one thing she needed to do. If he didn't grab the hand, maybe they could have talked, but nah, she can't do it with the left hand, so it flopped.
She should have done it with both. She should have done the ritual so that it could be she could alternate it.
Exactly. That would have been smarter than just with one hand, but she didn't think ahead. She didn't think, oh yeah, what should I do if that hand is occupied?
And obviously, this made the whole situation more dramatic and worse, because now Miyuki's thinking, she doesn't like me so much that she had to flip me to get away from me. Like, I know he's feeling sad.
Yeah, if that was me, I'd be stressed still, because like I was just trying to talk to you to clear up the misunderstanding. Like, I thought we were cool, but now
we were good. We were fine.
Because man's he's a growing boy. For her to have the strength to flip, man. Although I know with Aikido, it's more about using your opponent's weight against them rather than your own power. So I think it goes into that too. So, but still, it's impressive. It's impressive. So.
It is very much so. Very impressive. A bit of like character growth with Miyuki is that he was able to like confront the whole kissing in the Ting scenario, the shed. And that's like, I feel like that's shows definitely some growth. Like previous seasons or last season, you would never have seen this. He would have pretended that it didn't happen at all. But to think about it and process it and continue to process it, and even then go and confront her about it, that's his growth. Like, my guy he's ready. I think he's ready to say the big words. Yeah, I need to take you out on a date or something.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think last season, if that had happened, they wouldn't have even addressed it. They probably would have just left it in the air. So it's nice to see like a bit of change in their characters' mindsets, and also like that he knew like there was something up, and he knew like they needed to address it, and like nothing was going to change if they didn't address that fact. So I do like that, because like misunderstandings in some of the animes I've seen, it gets dragged into like this 12 episode, that was hyperbolic, but like they drag it out for a long time and it's just dead. So I like it when they just snip it in the bud. They don't try and drag it out, and it's resolved nicely. So I like this behavior from Miyuki. That's grown.
Definitely. We don't want them outlandish, dragging 50 plus, I've exaggerated, but episodes of nonsense that could be finished in 2 seconds. 2 seconds now. We want substance. Facts. Substance is what we want, and that's what we get.
Yes, this is Love is War. But before we move on, is there anything else in this part that you want to talk about?
Not in this part in particular, but I love the setup of this episode, and especially the first 2 sections. Like, there's not a lot of characters involved and a lot of dialogue and a lot of like switching up like locations. It's one setting and 2 people interacting, and that's why we're able to concentrate more on these relationships and concentrate more on what's happening. Like, I think the writers really wanted us to focus on the situations and the scenarios they're in. But I also do want to say that Miko has the worst timing ever, just in general.
Oh, bro, you talking about the next part?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just before we move on, I think that was a good point you made about the episode kind of focusing on pairs instead of the main groups to help us focus in on the character relationships. I like that because it's true. Like we actually get to see, like if we compare this scene to like a season 1 scene, you can probably see like there are differences in the way they interact. Although like I feel like in this scene, the interaction was under duress because of like them two being under the misunderstanding thing. But it's nice to see the solo, like just the one-on-one interactions, because like we've had a few Kaguya and Hayasaka interactions, so it gives us a better idea of what like their relationship is, like how even though Hayasaka, she doesn't know what Kaguya is on about most of the time, she does respect her and she's willing to help her even though she thinks most of the stuff is nonsense. But yes,
Kaguya is actually a real one. Like I've actually started noticing, like I can't even
finally
hate her. Finally,
you're off the hate train. You see, this is why the hiatus was good, bro. You on a mad hate train. It's sad to say,
but the pastor Joe was sipping on maybe the tea I was drinking then wasn't hitting the right spots, because I definitely shouldn't be hating her as much as I did.
That's gonna be the preview, bruv. The admission of your wrongdoing. The evil you've done is enough now.
Master is enough. Oh my days.
Now I can stop hating on Miko. Now I can stop hating on Miko.
So you the hate was because of my hate.
Yes, I had to match it. Same energy.
Nah, I hear that still. I hear that. I can't even argue against that. Oh my days. Yeah, Kaguya she's been on some queen stuff. She's been showing us some real growth and development. So that's some love for her. Some real love.
Okay. Yes. Tangent aside, let's get into the final part of the episode. Kaguya Doesn't Say No. And this, I said the last part was the funniest part, but I think this is my favorite part of the episode.
Same.
Because it shows how, like, even though Ishigami has this idea of Kaguya in his mind, she's really just she's a nicer person than he gives her credit for. She's a nice girl. And he needs to stop with this. What's mad? He's doing up Miko. You said they were similar. He's doing up Miko with his imagination, bro.
No, I semi see what you're saying. I semi agree, but I also don't. I disagree, because like we know what Ishigami has been through and the physical abuse he's received from her. Just because she acts nice a couple times doesn't mean he's forgotten being hit and that. Like he's scarred. He wants to do, anytime he sees her, his guards are up. He doesn't know what he's gonna get. Is he gonna be hit? Is it gonna be kindness?
No, but more times it's kindness. Anytime she lashes out, it's in response to what he did. Because like one time, he was saying that her chest was small, which was out of order. And then the other time, she was trying to help him study, and he was doing 10 toes trying to run away. So she had to put the chains on that. It was for his own benefit. But now I do hear what you're saying. But I don't think she acts against him in it's not unprovoked. Normally she's been provoked into doing it. But anyway, what did you think of this part?
What, the beginning bit, like the cheerleading bit and that?
I don't know, like the whole thing as a whole.
The thing I actually really like, this is the one part, the only thing I wrote down, because I had to write down. Did you realize none of the cheerleaders had faces? Actually, there was like one person, but they didn't rate them enough as characters to draw on their face. Like, that's disrespectful. What they had was eyebrows and the outline of a nose and lips.
I will say, I don't know if you remember, but there's a reason why they're drawn like that, and you'll see that next episode. I remember, but I don't know if you remember, so I'm not gonna say
Maybe I'm just forgetting.
So next, when we watch 11, then you'll understand why.
Cool, because I just thought they would be mad disrespectful. But overall, I love, I enjoy seeing Ishigami, and Ishigami is such a unique character in terms of how he interacts with his environment and the world, everything around him. man, he's so relaxed and calm, and he gives off that like I don't care nature, but you know he deeply does, and he deeply wants to try, and he's very reflective. Like he's not one of those people who makes a judgment and then just sticks with it. He's observant of his own like thought processes, and especially with this one when he was kind of disrespecting and disregarding their cheerleaders, but then was like, wait, how can I do that when I'm not even doing anything? Instead of just being a normal person and just like accepting that thought process and that thought line he had, man went to the extreme end and it was like, I'm going to become a cheerleader now. I don't understand that.
I respect it in a way.
I definitely respect it though.
He's a person he kind of wants to be by himself, keeps to himself. He's cool being on his ones, but he placed himself in an environment where he's surrounded by people and he kind of has to communicate more, and he doesn't really have any friends there, but he still decided to put himself in there. I feel like as an opportunity for him to develop as a person, and I know it's probably not easy for him to do that, especially with what happened in his middle school. So I have to respect his decision to join the cheer squad, no matter how uncomfortable he feels in there. But I think I liked the little monologue he had, because I don't think we've had many episodes when it's just Ishigami kind of on his ones, like not the president being there. So it's cool to see what he's like when he doesn't have any of the normal cast members around him. And I like his kind of thought process we get to see. And the one person who who had a face, the classmate, I don't know, like it seems like she doesn't like him, so I guess that kind of more it's referring to his reputation in the school, like how he's not liked. So, and then in the next episode we'll see why. So, but yeah, I think this little segment's like a good prelude to the sports festival arc that's gonna be in the next 2 episodes, 10 and 11. So yeah, it's that section with Ishigami was good, and then the next bit with him and Kaguya, that was heartwarming. Like it was like
it was definitely
big sister and little brother. That was nice.
Very wholesome, very, very wholesome. And it was one of those when, like you said, this is actually like where I had to shout out Kaguya and had to show her more love and not be naive and stand in my perspective of her. I have to change my outlook. And I've seen it. I've seen how she goes out of her way in her own way for the people she cares about. And she definitely cares about Ishigami. And Ishigami was hella stressed. He was like, rah, who is actually gonna swap their uniform with me without having any sort of misunderstanding or unnecessary like overspill of what happened? Like he didn't want any over dramatics. Like he's not trying to move weird or move mad. He just wants to do this for his cheerleading that he's really inputting a lot of effort into. And it was just nice to see how quickly, like, Kaguya didn't even think about it. She was like, okay. And he was like, what?
And she was like, nah, it's not a big deal. Not that deep. You can wear it. I was like, raw. She was so casual about it. She's a G, man. He's a G.
No, she is. She actually is. Out here doing man's makeup for him, making him look suave cute. And that, all of that. He was just vibing, and then Miko just opens the door and then closes it.
She's learned. That's growth. That's growth. Before she would have came in and started screaming, but she's like, you know what? Not today. Let me just go. Let me come back tomorrow. Hey, she went home. You know, she didn't stay in school. Like she had the whole school day left. She said, "Nah, I'm going home. I'm going straight to bed and sleeping. This is not for me." She was like, you know what? I'm not on it. Not today. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. And what's it? Shirogane being jealous was making me laugh. I'm just like, bro.
Oh man.
It's not like that. You really think Kaguya likes Ishigami? Come on, bro. No offense to Ishigami.
And even if he just took the situation in, he'd realize how does it look like he thinks it looks? She's putting makeup on him and he's wearing her clothes. Like, come on. Like, bro, of course nothing is happening here.
Yeah, but I like that because it kind of shows the more petty side to Shirogane. I don't think I've seen that in a while, so that was nice. That was nice. And as I said before, the scene with Kaguya doing a prank, that's a big thing, you know. Big Kaguya doing pranks now. It kind of shows how the hard exterior has kind of really been cracked open and penetrated, because now she's taking part in these little games that I don't think we would have seen her do before. So I like that.
Back in the day, Kaguya would look down on people who did that. She'd be like, what a waste of time.
Exactly.
Why are you doing that? But now Kaguya, she's been opening up herself. She's been more involved.
That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. Yeah. Well,
she's getting that queen status real soon. Real soon.
Yeah, soon come.
Up in the direction she is. I'll put on the crown personally. I'll jump into the show with the crown, slap it on their heads.
You'll be like the first black person in the show, no? I don't think I've seen a black person. Nah.
Bro, they'll be in shock. They'll be like, who's this guy? He can't even speak Japanese. And I'll be here, and I'll be pointing to a picture of Kaguya. I was like, have you seen this girl? I'm trying to crown her.
All the best, brother. But any final thoughts on the episode as a whole? Anything else you want to mention before we close off?
As a whole, quality episode, especially the first two parts, how they switched up, like we said earlier, the interactions and how the perspective we're seeing these characters having more one-on-one interactions than loads of individuals, different scenes and multiple interactions, so we could really like focus our perspective on one thing, which was really cool. And it allowed us, as we have discussed throughout this episode, to really delve deeper into their developing personalities, their developing character. And yeah, it was just a great experience for me. Like, I really enjoyed it. And I feel like having not watched it for like 2 and a bit weeks, like it was like I missed it. Like, when Kaguya ends altogether, what am I gonna do?
Wait for season 3, bro.
That's all we can do, man. But it was definitely I would say 8.5 out of 10 episode. Really enjoyable.
I agree. Great episode to come back on. Thoroughly entertaining. As usual, all the parts were hitting. Great character interactions, great character reactions, and just another reason why this anime is top of the bunch. So, but yeah, as we close off, any final comments for us, Raguel?
Oh, obviously, Queen Miko is still the best. And if you guys stay tuned, the Kaguya hate might come back. It might return. So don't be too disappointed, because I know you guys be vibes into my Kaguya hate. Like, you love to hate me, basically. You love to hate the hate I have to Kaguya. So it might return.
Antagonist. Okay. Well, it'll be reformed Kaguya hater Raguel signing off, and also Daniel, former Miko hater, but not really, signing off too. Hope you enjoyed this week. As always, like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.